This podcast is sponsored by nobody. Hey dudes, welcome to Splat from the Past, the only 80s themed horror sci-fi show where things can get totally radical. Now, I am just so excited for today's interview because I will be talking to Wendy Barnes, very multi-talented jazz R&B singer from Chicago. She has had an incredible life. She opened for Red Fox. She sang with Stevie Wonder and Julio Iglesias. She was in the 1978 Tamar Hoff's Andrew Davis cult film Stony Island. And she has an album that's available for download on her website. And it's going to be great to talk to her today, and I cannot wait. She's very talented, very underrated, and it's going to be a great conversation. I also like to say happy birthday to my good friend Terry Bolo, my friend, my surrogate aunt, my muse, my mentor. I am just so grateful every day for our friendship. Happy birthday, Terry. And it's been a week now since Katie passed, and I'm just going through the motions of that. I'm really sad about Katie's death. She meant a lot to me in such a short amount of time, only 11 years, and she was something special. I'm glad that I got to know her for those 11 years, and she touched a lot of lives, and I miss Katie every day. Miss texting her, miss her infectious smile. I love you, Katie. See you again someday. So yeah, here is my interview with Wendy Barnes. Good afternoon, Wendy.
Hi, Tommy. How are you?
I am great. How are you?
I'm excellent. Thank you so much.
Awesome. This is such a great honor. Thank you for taking the time today.
Well, thank you for inviting me, Tommy. As I said in the email, you have quite a story to tell yourself, and kudos to you for working through all of that and being available here so that many people like myself get an opportunity to tell our stories.
Yes, it's
right.
Yes, it's quite a pleasure, and I enjoy what I do. So thank you so much for that very sweet compliment.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
So, going back...
Are we on now?
Oh, yes.
We're all in it?
We are all in it, yes.
Okay.
So, going back in time, at what age did you start gravitating towards music?
At the age of 2. I was 2 years old, and I was 3 when I started singing in public at my local church in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
And I think prior to that, I was just... attracted to melodies and sounds, and I would teach myself how to sing. I came from a family of 9 siblings.
Wow.
And, of course, 2 parents, and nobody happened to sing but me. So it was a little bit isolated for me, and looking back, I often think, what would it have been like if we were like the Winans and I could harmonize with everybody and like the Jacksons, and we could just be doing, but it was just me. So it was kind of lonely because all I knew is that I sang all the time. Like, I would sing anything I heard. If I heard something maybe one time, I knew the melody like that. So it just seemed natural. So I always knew I would be a singer, even though I didn't know what that meant. I just knew I would be singing. That's all I knew.
Yeah. Wow, 9 siblings. Are you the youngest?
I'm 5.
You're number 5. Wow. Okay, because I'm the youngest in my family. It's me and my brother. There's a 9-year difference. My mom had 4 miscarriages between us, and usually, whenever I meet someone who's the youngest, of 9 or 10 siblings, they're the ones I connect to the most.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm right there in the middle, and as I said, it was interesting growing up because I think some family members I'd say one in particular. The oldest sister, she had a vendetta against me. So that became an antagonistic situation for years.
Of course, sibling rivalry. How many boys and girls are there?
It was 4 boys and 5 girls.
Wow. Your parents must have been stressed out.
Yes, I guess they were. My mother was very resourceful, and she was very creative too. And sometimes I think back and say that's how I got a lot of my creative juices. She was a seamstress, and she made any and everything. She made our curtains. She made our bedclothes. She upholstered the furniture. She tiled the floors.
Right.
She did everything. And we couldn't buy store-bought clothes when we were younger because she would say, "Let me see that." And then she'd look, and we all would look at each other because we knew what she was going to say. And together we'd move our lips. I can make that. I can make that. And she really could. And she would make it better without a pattern. She would just look at it. So she made hats and gloves. And so I do all those things now. I make hats and garments and style. I'm considered a little bit of a stylist. So I have to credit my mother with all that.
Yeah. Who were your musical influences growing up?
Well, I listened to a lot of Motown music because that's what was played. But growing up in Chicago, there was James Cleveland, Tommy Dorsey, and they were the founding fathers of gospel music. And gospel music was very big in Chicago.
Right.
And so by the time I was like 11 or 12, I was singing, actually I was directing 3 choirs at my local church. I was the choir director, and then I was the main lead singer for broadcast. They had a lot of broadcasts back then where the churches, they tune in and the choir is singing. And so then we would travel throughout Chicago with the Victory Singers. We would travel and we would do our A and B selection, and so it was very exciting. So I was able to sing on the radio, and that was exciting to my parents,
Yeah.
Me too.
Do you remember the first album you bought?
I don't know the first one, but I do remember buying Tammy Tucker.
Oh, nice.
Tucker's a country singer. Tanya Tucker.
Tanya Tucker, yeah.
Country singer, and this was back when I was like about 18 or 19 and 20, something like that. And I think I wanted to be a country singer at one point. And I just loved the way they told the stories and the melodies of the songs. But I have a daughter, her name is Sunny Day, and Sunny Day became a country singer.
Wow.
It's funny how generations can skip like that. It's like I didn't really stay with the country music, but then she picked it up because that was the first album she ever heard.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny, right?
It is very funny, yeah. How about the first concert you attended?
I think probably, back in Chicago, we would go to the Regal Theater, and it was famous for artists like James Brown and Otis Redding.
Oh, yeah.
And there was a big band, big orchestra on stage. So I think it was probably James Brown in concert because I was about 8 years old, and my oldest sister took me, and she would make me in the audience go, yeah! And I would do that, and people would turn around and look and say, that little girl is singing, but I would be singing with James, and every time he'd do that, yeah! And I would do it too, and I wasn't scared to do it.
Yeah.
But that kind of got me wanting to be on the stage and perform like on a big stage, and I think that was probably a big influence for me watching James Brown and Otis Redding.
Nice. When you were growing up, did you see a lot of legendary blues musicians on the streets of Chicago playing?
In nightclubs, back then, I didn't know who was really famous so much. I probably did, but as a kid growing up, I was immersed in singing in churches at that time until I turned 16. And when I turned 16, I formed, well, earlier than that, I had started forming different bands that my mother would allow us to rehearse in our living room. And so, you know, we had little bands. I was like 14, 15. And then by the time I was 16, I had my own band, and I did my first nightclub spot at 16. But prior to that, my sister, this oldest sister, would dress me up. I would sneak out of my mother's house. Well, lived in a two-story house which had a window and a slanted roof that I had to slide down the column and get outside. And they would sneak me out that way, and then I would go across the street to one of her friend's house where they would make me up with wigs and makeup. Mm-hmm. And then I would go to the local clubs because a lot of times they would have talent contests for money. And so I would go up there, and I guess back then they weren't not carding you. I mean, I'm pretty sure I still couldn't have looked that old. I was only like 14.
Yeah.
And I would go to the clubs and sing and win the money, and my sister would take the money. So, yeah, management, right?
Yeah. those talent contests, like, you know, before the pandemic, they didn't even exist anymore, do they?
I don't think so. No, this was way back when I was a kid coming up. It was very popular to do talent shows, talent contests, and they would always offer money. When I was more of an adult, right before I got with Stevie Wonder,
yeah,
I was living in LA here, and I was really broke, and it was my birthday coming up, and I always, even people who know me today, my birthday is always a big deal for me. Mm-hmm. I just go all out to do what I wanted, whatever I want to do. It's special to me. So I said, wow, I'm broke, man. I'm going to go back home to visit my mom in Chicago, and, you know. So
yeah,
I went back, and I heard on the radio, his name was Earl Kent, the cool gent. And he was saying, it's going to be a big talent show. Come on down over at the so-and-so club. Blah, blah, blah. Now I'm an adult now. I'm a professional singer, actually, at that time. And so I said, well, $350. They're offering $350. I'm going to go down there and get this money right quick. So my mom had just made me this beautiful two-piece hot pink pantsuit. And I was wearing a turquoise shell underneath it, and I went down there. So I get there, and I'm with my brother and two girlfriends. And when I get there, I see that a lot of people that are going to perform have tracks and music, and I didn't bring anything with me because I was used to singing a cappella a lot anyway.
Yeah.
I didn't have anything but me, so I'm thinking, I'm sitting there, and I'm going through my head like, what are you going to sing? I didn't even have a song in mind. I'm like, what are you going to sing, man? Oh, my God. So they had lined us up on the stage, and I didn't say I was a professional singer. I said I was a housewife. And I said I was a housewife, and I was number 6, I think. And so the other people went before me. Then it was my turn, and they called me out, and I went, and I started singing, A Change Is Gonna Come, right? The nightclub. How true that was.
Yeah.
So I'm singing A Change Is Gonna Come, and I got down on my knees on this part, and I'm like really doing it. And I'm singing a cappella, and I'm just singing from my heart. I'm just singing. And so then they lined us back up like at the Apollo, and they put the hands over the heads, and they got to me, and the people went crazy. And he said, we have a winner. Wendy Barnes, the housewife. And so gave me the money, and so I was so excited. I bought my friend all around the drinks. You know, I'm big time now. So I go back to my mom's house. Now, prior to that,
yeah,
I was in Hawaii with a friend, just looking for ways to enhance my singing career.
Yeah.
But when I first started singing, I used to open up for Red Fox when I was 18. I was lead singer for a group called Diamonds, Rubies, and Pearls.
Which I want to ask you about, too, yeah.
I used to open up for him. And so when he moved to L.A., I moved to L.A. as well. And one of the things I did, I went to see him to say, hey, just, hey, how's it going? He had a place over here in La Brea.
Mm-hmm.
And we kind of reconnected, and that was it. So now I'm in Hawaii. And I'm doing some stuff over here with the Tiny Bubbles Man. And so I get a call from Red Fox's office, and it says, we'd like for you to come back and sing at the Richard Pryor Burn Telethon. So apparently Richard had just burned himself up, and they wanted me to come back and be on this telethon. So I do. I come back. I'm on the telethon, and my thing was pre-recorded, and then it was aired on KTLA, a television show. And I tried to stay up for it, but they didn't put it on when they thought I fell asleep. And then I get this call from a friend. They said, Stevie Wonder's looking for you. They came on the television and said, if anybody knows you, to tell you that Stevie Wonder's looking for you. And I'm like, what? It was like 4 a.m., right? I get this call. Then the call waiting. Hold on, click. It's Nadine Scott McKenna, another friend who wrote This Christmas with Donny Hathaway. So he said, Wendy, Stevie Wonder's looking for you. I said, what? Are you guys kidding me? So then I kept trying to reach him where I thought I could reach him. Never talked to him. So now I go to Chicago. Now, I said, this was just some BS. So now I'm in Chicago. I do the show, the talent show, but the night before, so when I get to Chicago, before the talent show, all of this happened right in sequence. I got a call from this attorney named Peter Palullo. To this day, I've never met this man, never spoke to him again. He said to me, I understand Stevie Wonder's trying to find you. And he said, I'm going to make sure he does. I play golf with the piano player's dad in New York. And I'm going to make sure he finds you. And again, I went, thanks a lot, appreciate it. But in my mind, I'm thinking some more BS. Hang up phone. Now, here we are. We're at the club. I win. I come home. And the next morning, I'm telling my mother, I'm sitting on her bed, and I'm telling my mom about what happened last night. So the phone rings, and it says, hi, this is Stephanie Andrews. I'm calling you from Stevie Wonder's office. Now, this is the very next morning after I think a change is going to come, right? So I put my hand over the phone, and I'm telling Mom, then I come back real cool. I said, yes, what can I do for you? She said, well, Stevie would like to meet with you Friday. Now, remember, it's like Wednesday or Thursday. I said, Friday? Like, it's Friday? She said, yes. I put hand over again. I said, well, let me check my calendar. Hold on. I come back and I said, well, yeah. I said, that'll be fine. I said, well, how are we going to do this? She said, we're going to send a car for you. We're going to send a ticket for you, and we'll meet you. We'll pick you up from the airport. And I said, oh, okay. And she said, what will you be wearing? And I looked at my mom, and I said, a hot pink two-piece jumpsuit and a turquoise shell. And now, that was my favorite outfit. That had already gotten me luck, right?
Right.
So, as they say, the rest is history. And then I ended up with him for the next 8 years.
Wow. So, yeah, but being a comedian, I got to ask about Red Fox, if any stories stand out, because I just think he was groundbreaking and pioneering. What are some good stories you remember?
Oh, my God. First of all, he was a very handsome man. He did not look like Sanford and Son. And so when he cleaned up, oh, my God, he would have on these cream two-piece suits with, he carried gold around his neck. He was immaculate. That's one thing I can tell you about him. And he was very meticulous about us.
Yeah.
We could not have any chipped nail polish on our hands. We had to be pristine. Our outfits were rented from CBS TV studios.
Yeah.
And he was, he held court in the dressing rooms, which meant when guests would come back in the dressing rooms, nobody could talk but him.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you just listen to him, and he was funny. He was funny, but he was a cool person. I really liked him. He took a liking to me because I had a big red afro back then, and he called me, "You have Ed Fox. Come, we all go with me." And he would take me places, like he would take me to Hugh Hefner's in Chicago.
Right.
And mind you, I'm just like 18 years old at the time, so I was like, oh my God, he wants to take me out somewhere. Oh Jesus, what's going to happen? So, I was really, really kind of scary, a little more, but I would go and hang out. So one particular night, we're at Hugh Hefner's, and Hugh Hefner had a game room with all of these games, like, what do you call them, arcade games?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, arcade.
Yeah. So Red had two bodyguards with him and me. So two bodyguards, me, and him. And we all came together, and I guess we came in a taxi. So it's getting late. It's like 2:30 in the morning, and they just still up playing with the games. Then Red turned around and noticed that one of the bodyguards was asleep. He was falling asleep. And he got serious. He went off, right? He went off. And then, next thing I know, he left us. He just ran out, jumped in a taxi, and left us, right? Now he's by himself in a taxi. So me and the two bodyguards get in another taxi, and it was like a movie. They were like, follow that taxi. And boy, we were going to the side of this car. The car was going so fast, and we were chasing it. It was like we were in a freaking movie, and I'm going, oh my God, what in the world is going on? So we finally got to the hotel where we were staying, and he disappeared. He went up, he disappeared, and he ended up calling me later, like on the phone, like, yeah, I don't know, I'm going to sleep. I ain't sure what the hell. He was mumbling and grumbling and everything.
Love it. Did you like his Bowdy jokes?
They were funny. I still remember his jokes.
Yeah.
I still remember, because one of the routines that he liked to say is, you got to wash your ass. He used to say that all the time, and then he'd say, pick two men out the audience who were bald-headed. He'd say, you, your bald-head ass, your bald-head, y'all can't put y'all together. You look like somebody's ass. Say that, and that. You could just imagine it's the two bald-heads, and you could see it, but he always had him a cocktail on stage with him, and a cigarette. Back then you could smoke. So he would smoke, and he'd have his, I don't know what that was, brown liquor, whiskey or whatever it was. And they loved him. Wherever we went, it was packed out. I can say that much.
Yeah.
We went, it was always packed. And so he was good, and I'm glad that we got that opportunity to reconnect when he was here in L.A. And then he started doing that show, Royal Family.
Right.
And that's he passed away on the set.
Yeah.
And my daughter, who became the country singer, who's an actress, Sunny Day, she was part of that cast. She was one of the not permanent cast members, but she had a recurring role on there. And so he knew that he was working with my daughter, which was really pretty cool. But yeah, he had a heart attack on the set.
Yeah, and they thought he was kidding too, like on Sanford's Son. Yeah.
Right. Little bit, it's gonna be a big one. It's a big one. But he was not kidding, so.
Yeah, that's so sad. It's so ironic too. So how does?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how does Stony Island come into your life?
Well, being in Chicago, I was dating a guy named Larry Ball, who was an amazing bass player. in Chicago, did a lot of session work, and we met at college, he and I, at Kennedy King College, where I was studying voice and theater, and we ended up dating for quite some time, and so somehow I think he's the one who knew Andy Davis, the director, first. And so then one day he came to me and he said, Wendy, they're doing this movie, Stony Island, and I think you ought to come down and check it out, and da-da-da-da-da. So I went down and met Andy Davis, who went on to do The Fugitive movie, Perfect Murder, all the Steven Seagal movies. He's just an amazing director.
The Fugitive, yeah.
This day, I still talk to Andy, and
yeah.
And so I went down and they hired me.
Yeah, I love the movie. I think it has a real grainy documentary-like feel to it, and it really captures the magic of Chicago in the 70s. I mean, it looks like Chicago in those days was seedy like New York was, but not as quite.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right, not as dirty. But how did you come across Stony Island?
I'm just a huge fan of Susanna Hoffs in general. She's my favorite singer, next to you, by the way. And
Susanna Hoffs, yeah.
I just think that she's got this, Ronnie Spector-esque voice. She exudes a lot of empathy and poetry, like she's narrating a fairy tale. I just adore her. That's how I came across it.
Oh, we had so much fun back then because we must have shot that. It took about a month to shoot it, so we became family. We would see each other, it seemed like every day. And at the time, I was attending Vandercook College of Music in Chicago, and when this came up, I had to leave school, and it was right before I would have graduated, and it was like a choice of staying or taking this opportunity to do this film. And I went with the film because I told myself, actually, you're in college to learn how to do what it is you're getting ready to do.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a good move because I never looked back, because after that movie, opportunities just kept coming and they never stopped. And so I felt like that was the right thing to do. And I tell people this, I was so blessed that I never had a job. I never had a 9-to-5. I never had flip burgers. I never did any of those things. I only had a career singing and teaching music and music-related jobs my whole entire career.
Yeah.
It was the right decision.
Yeah, I'm hoping to interview Tamar Hoffs soon. I'm trying to arrange it with her personal assistant, so hopefully I'll get to do that. How was work?
Give her my love to talk to her, please.
Oh, I will. I just interviewed a really good friend of hers recently, so everybody says hi. I will be telling her if I get the opportunity.
Please do.
How was working?
Or at least
of course.
as not too long ago. Her son was in the film, and I just adored him. His role was so great. Oh, my God. It was such a good movie. Good experience. And Ray Don Chong, we have been able to keep in touch over the years as well.
Yeah, Silk has been trying to get Ray Don on here. I don't know what's going on there, but I did talk to Tommy Chong back in March.
Oh, he's still okay. Go ahead, Tommy. Wow.
Yeah, people have been telling me that's like my best interview. I think I've done a lot of great interviews, but that was definitely a highlight because he's a hero of mine, And
oh yeah, we loved him. Cheech and Chong movies. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That was so good.
It was phenomenal to me. I was just like, I couldn't believe it the entire time I was talking to him. Yeah. Wow. But,
yeah, Rachel and Chong, she's cool people too, and we had a lot of fun because you saw the movie. She and I were very close together during that whole process because we were the only female singers on stage with the band.
Were you both?
We were. Yeah, it was us too. Yeah.
She was like, what, 16 or 17 at the time?
Not 17. She was like 15 or 16. Not quite 16.
Okay. But she was pretty young, though, and she was well beyond her years.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Very young. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Andrew Davis worked with her again a few years later on Beat Street.
Yes, he did, yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, did that movie lead to you going on tour with big names? Like, eventually, I mean, you already talked about, Stevie Wonder and what have you, but did it open any doors for you?
Well, right after that and before Stevie, I was with the Wiz National Touring Company.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. And that was one of the best times of my life, besides the Stevie experience. But the Wiz won 7 Tony Awards. It had the best costumes, the best director, the best choreography. It had the best everything. And at that time, I was in my early 20s, and I had a daughter, Sunny Day,
mm-hmm.
and they were the first company I'd ever heard of that were children-friendly, which meant they allowed us to bring our families on tour with us.
Yeah.
That was unheard of. So a lot of us women were young. We're childbearing age, you know. So just about everybody had at least one child. And so my daughter was able to play with Kamal, Scott's daughter, who played the Wiz at the time, and my good friend Karen McDonald, who played the Tornado.
Yeah.
She had her son on the road. My other friend, Sue Conway, who's passed on now, God rest her soul, she had her son Ronald on the road, and Graciela had a kid on the road. It's like, we loved it. We loved it because, we're women. We wanted to have our children with us, but, they allowed it and they embraced it, and I think that was one of the best things that they could have done. I thought that was so thoughtful and beyond thoughtful, just the right thing to do,
Yeah. Wow, that's amazing. Did you like the movie of The Wiz?
No. No. Mm-mm. No. And I'll tell you why.
Okay.
First of all, Diana Ross, give me a break. Second of all, it was nothing like the stage play. So when I say I was in The Wiz, people think the movie. The stage play was nothing like that movie. The stage play, they should have just put the camera on the stage play and called it a day. I mean, I don't know why they did that. They could have just filmed that, and that would have been so amazing because, oh my God, it was the most fun I'd ever had in several years. It was just because think about it.
Yeah.
I was singing, dancing, and acting. Well, that's it. It doesn't get any better than that.
Yeah.
That was all things I wanted to do in one show,
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, Universal lost a lot of money in 1978 with The Wiz and the Sgt. Pepper's movie. I mean, they really shot themselves in the foot with musicals, and I think that was the beginning of the decline of musicals for big studios, I think.
Oh, well, see there, I'm not the only one who thought that.
Yeah.
No, I didn't like that at all.
So are you still in touch with Stevie Wonder?
I am. Yes, I have him on speed dial.
You and him did songs for the Woman in Red, the Gene Wilder movie?
Yes. And that was a lot of fun. I received a gold record for my participation with that. And Stevie is one of the greatest artists and humanitarians that I think I know.
Yeah.
And he was so amazing that he could operate all of that equipment himself. Like when he would play his keyboard, he would reach around the back of it and he would move all the dials. He did all of that. He would play or sing to the horns, all of their parts. See, you got to remember, he didn't read music, so nobody else did. So he gave them their parts, and they had to memorize them and learn them because that's the way it was. So with me, when I came in, like I said, he sought me out, number one. So when I finally met him, because remember, then I was like, okay, well, she called me in. So that day, I went straight to his studio, which was an outside, what do you call it, a truck.
Mm-hmm.
No truck, where his studio actually was on Western. And I go up in this long truck, because they're obviously working on some recordings or something. I go in the truck, and he speaks to me, and then he says, he takes my hand, and he says, he rubbed my wrist, like, I guess that was something they did, and he said, you were born on the same day as my ex-wife, Sarita Wright.
Mm-hmm.
And my next question should have been, how the hell you know that? But I didn't think to ask that at the time. I was just shocked. And so I found out that Sarita and I had the same birthdays, different years, but the same birthdays. So then he said, rehearsal later on today, because it was Friday. And so he put me up at a hotel, even though I had an apartment in L.A., he put me up at a hotel in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
And so we came to the rehearsal that evening, and I meet everybody. I don't know any of them. I don't know what's expected of me.
Yeah.
And so I meet everybody. I meet the other girls. There's three other girls. One girl was new, too. She had just come in from Detroit. Her name was Melody. She's passed on. And so I met everybody, Alex Brown and Shirley Brewer.
Mm-hmm.
I meet the band, Nathan Watts, and all the cats. So they're just kind of half rehearsing. They're not even really rehearsing. They're just going over tunes, and people are just kind of, because Stevie wasn't there. Stevie doesn't get there till about, rehearsal was like at 7. I think Stevie got there at about 1 in the morning, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So now they jump into action. They're rehearsing. So I never had a rehearsal, a full rehearsal in the 7 or 8 years. They just said, you on the bottom. And fortunately, I knew his material. So because I was in choirs, I knew harmony. So I sang the bottom notes, and there was never any rehearsals. I just didn't understand that. I was like, what the hell? We're not rehearsing. So now, that's Friday, right?
Yeah.
We had a half-ass rehearsal. I would call it a real rehearsal. Sunday, Friday we rehearsed, no rehearsal period. Sunday, we're on a gig at the Roxy Theater.
Mm-hmm.
My first gig with him. I'm only half-ass rehearsed with you once. I don't really know what I'm doing. Well, when I get on the stage at the Roxy, and it's kind of on the floor, it wasn't even like a platform, it was down. So when we're in place, I look in front of me. There's a table directly in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
And guess who's sitting there? Diana Ross, Eric Gordon, and Michael Jackson.
Wow.
Directly in front of me.
The Wiz is right in front of you.
Yeah, because you know how you get the best table in the house?
Yeah.
So there's front and center, right in front. I'm like, oh my God, oh Lord Jesus. So I got a little nervous, and I made it through. And then after it was over, Stevie came to me and he said, so what do you think? Will you stay? I can't believe he's asking me this. Will you stay? And I said, yeah. So later that night he called me again. He said, so what did you think? And I said to him, well, can I be honest? Like that. Now, I don't really know him like that.
Yeah.
Can I be honest? And he says, yeah. And I said, well, you need a choreographer and you need a clothes designer. I said, because it's just people just jump around. This is, I know you can't see, but I didn't say that part, but, I knew he couldn't see it, but I could see it, and it was like I had just come out of a fully produced stage, a huge production. So So
Right.
for me to come to that and people weren't choreographed and they were just wearing whatever they had on, I just thought that was just not becoming of something for Stevie Wonder. So when I said that, I said, no, you need this, you need that. He started laughing. He just started cracking up. And I was like, oh, man, I done did it now. Oh, my God, he's laughing. And so after about 2 minutes of laughing, he said, you know somebody? And I said, yeah, I do. I know a choreographer and a designer. I could have them on board tomorrow. And that's what happened. And the whole operation changed from that moment forward. We were choreographed, we were costumed, and that was my contribution.
Oh, crazy.
Yeah.
How about,
And then,
oh, go ahead.
and then the last thing, and then that very next week, we flew to Europe. I was only there like days, and he said, you like it? Well, we going to Europe. And I was like, Europe? And he was like, yep. And that was it.
How about Julio Iglesias?
Oh, my God. Okay, that was another crazy story. So I was with Michael Bolton at the time, and we were on hiatus. And so we had just finished Saturday Night Live in New York with Michael Bolton. And this girl walks up to me with her card, and she says, hi. I've never seen or heard of her again. She said, hi, I'm so-and-so from Sony Records, and Julio Iglesias is looking for a black singer, just like that. And I said, oh, I didn't know who Julio Iglesias was. So I took the card, and I was like, okay, well, thank you. And she said, I'm going to be on vacation, but you can call something. I was just half hearing her, too, because I loved being with Michael Bolton. Absolutely loved it. I mean, he was just the best. I was just enamored. It was just a wonderful gig. It was wonderful. So I'm thinking, I'm not going to leave Michael for this. Who is Julio Iglesias? Lord have mercy. What? So the piano player with Michael says, Wendy, I know one of his producers. I'm gonna hook you up. So next thing I know, this guy, this producer, must have called Julio or something. Because next thing I know, I get a call from Julio's office. He says, hey, Julio wants you to send him a package. So I do it. I overnight it. But I call another friend of mine named Brenda, and I said, hey, this man named Julio is looking for a singer. You should submit, because I'm with Michael. I'm good, and maybe you should try to get this job, right? So next morning, because I overnighted it and we're 3 hours different, I get a call from Julio again from his office saying, Julio wants to fly you out here Friday. Friday is the day, right? So I said, no, it's not for me. It's for a friend. I'm already. She said, no, he wants you. I said, damn. Oh, man. So I'm thinking, this is weird. Should I go? And so they, again, sent me a ticket, flew me out. So now I'm rehearsing with these girls. I never meet Julio. A week goes by. Second week goes by. I'm just learning choreography and boo, 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 boo. I never meet Julio. Then one night the guys in the band said, well, Wendy, can you sing a standard? Sing us something. I sang My Funny Valentine. So they must have went back and told him about that, I guess. So then finally, in walks Julio one day at rehearsal, because we're rehearsing in Miami. We're in Miami, Florida. In walks Julio. So he comes over, and I go to meet him, and, hi, how are you? Darling, no, nice to meet you. So I'm like, okay. So, man, he tells me, we're going to have a dinner tonight, da-da-da-da-da. We went to his home, had a dinner, and he's with all these long table, and he says to me, welcome to the family.
Oh.
I said, hi, welcome to the family? Oh, shit, I sing with Michael Bolton. What the hell is going on? So I'm like really nervous now, and by this time, I know who he is before I go, because a friend might say, you don't know who Julio Iglesias is? he owns Island. I said, Island? So I had just negotiated with that girl. I called the girl back. I said, you know what? I know you think that. I said, that's what I want to make. I said, but really, and she said, yeah, that's what you said. I said, oh, I knew it was a mistake. No, that's what I used to make. What I need to make now, and I came with another figure. And later, I found out Julio told her, give her whatever she wants.
Oh, that's sweet.
Oh, yeah, he was cool. So I stayed with him about 6 years.
Wow. You were with Michael Bolton on Saturday Night Live?
Yeah. Yeah.
When he did that We Are the World parody with the free range chickens.
I don't know. I think we sang Time, Love, and Tenderness, maybe. We did a few songs. I don't know what all else happened on the show because, I don't know. But I know what we did, and it was great. It was great. He was so much fun. He was a funny guy. Nobody really got to see his personality, but he was really funny and silly. All of them. Stevie too. He's so silly. It's ridiculous. He's like a kid.
Yeah.
He called me right now. He would just want to laugh and make funny voices with me. And what you doing? We just do that for like minutes and minutes and minutes and laugh, get all the laughing out before I ask him anything serious. I just gotta laugh with him first.
Yeah. Do you remember guest starring on a short-lived sitcom called Throb?
Oh God, yes. How do you know these things?
I saw that on IMDb.
Oh, God. Oh, Jesus. That was the funniest, craziest thing in my life. I decided I was going to get braces.
Right.
First time. I was already in my 30s, and I had a little overbite. It wasn't bad. Most people said, oh, leave it alone. It's fine. You look how you're sexy. I said, I want to do it. But in order to do that, they had to remove 4 teeth, 2 on the top, and then, of course, the 2 at the bottom. Then I get a call to do Throb, like the next week. I'm like, oh, hell no. I got gaps on both sides of my mouth. This is crazy.
Yeah.
So, of course, I went to do it because it was Vesta Williams, who passed on, bless her soul, too.
Oh.
Vesta Williams and Patty. What's her last name? Damn, I just spelled Patty. And
Patty Duke.
of us, and we had the best time, but I was still getting hit on with no teeth in my mouth. I said, damn. It must have been my eyes. It wasn't my teeth. Oh, Lord.
Well, you do have a very beautiful smile, I have to say.
Well, I paid for that. No, Stevie Wonder paid for that. I always tell people, Stevie paid for my teeth, Julio paid for my house.
So I listened to your album, Windy Goddess Barnes. I love it. How long ago was that album?
205. That was right before I went to China for the first time. And I had to do something really, really fast. And I hired a trio, and we went into Nolan Shahid's studio in Pasadena, and we recorded it in one take, and that was it. One setting, we just recorded it live, no rehearsal, just, these are the songs I'm going to do, these are the keys, let's do them, guys, and we just did it. It was just like that.
Do you plan on writing more albums?
Yeah, did I what?
Do you plan on recording more albums?
Oh, absolutely. I just finished 3 live, I did 5 songs live at the Warner Grand, which will be a release soon. I also video, they accompany with video. So I've been dropping them on social media every first of the month. So I dropped the last one on July 1st. It's entitled Tie Me Up, the song I wrote about my experience in Thailand. So you go on YouTube and listen to that and see the video. I think it's really nice.
I will definitely check that out. Have you started doing live shows again? I know you mentioned the other day you have a gig on Thursday.
I have a gig Saturday, the 17th, then the 24th, and August 7th at different parks. It's a program with the county, LA County Art, called Park After Dark. And so I'm going to be at 3 different parks. I don't even know the names of them right offhand, but I'm doing that. I already did a winery in Burbank. Forget the name of that. Me and Mahesh, who is my piano player that I've been using on those live recordings that you'll be hearing soon. Mahesh Balasuriya. And I got some gigs coming up at the Country Club in Palos Verdes. I'm teaching on tomorrow Wednesday at Debbie Allen's. They're preparing for a video shoot for her intensive summer intensive program. So I'm working with about 30 young kids and about 30 on Zoom at the same time. I just did it a few days ago, and she requested me to come back, which I thought was pretty cool, to work with them again in place of their original, their permanent vocal coach. But apparently she couldn't do it, and so I had to step in at the spur of the moment. Boom, boom, boom. So all kind of strange gigs are coming. Gigs I've never done before. You know, like, yeah, it's been exciting. But on the horizon, there's a lot of new gigs that I've never experienced yet that people are calling about. So
I know. I'm so glad that, live entertainment's starting to open up again. I just hope, everyone's taking safety precautions so it doesn't get worse again.
I know. Oh, God, it can't go back. We can't go back. Right?
Right. It's been just insane. What color is your hair today?
Purple.
It's purple. I love it when it's purple.
It's purple.
Do you?
I traded down. So.
Do you paint your nails to match the color of your hair?
Sometimes, like right now, they're clear and my toes are blue. So I just like color, And when I visited Senegal for the first time in 2016 and the second time in 2018 to do a jazz festival there, I was concerned because my hair was purple and, I like colors in my clothes too at the same time. So when I got there, oh my God, I just fit in. It was so many colors and patterns that they wear, and I said, oh, I'm at home for real. This is beautiful. So purple just fit in so royally, and I felt so good that all these women wore so many colors at one time. I said, well, now I feel at home.
I hope that the nail polish isn't chipped.
Oh, no, that's why they're clear. That's why my hands are clear, because they were chipped, and I had to take it off. Because, oh, no, that stuck with me. My toes are perfect because I do them myself because I can. But that stuck with me to this day.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's certain things.
I know, I've been painting my toes since I was 13.
You said you've had to paint your own toes since you were 13?
Well, I started when I was 13, yeah. And then there was a period in my 20s where I was getting them done professionally, and then the prices got just too much, so I just started doing them myself again. Yeah.
Well, that's cool, because I'm not spending $30. All it is one big toe, and then the rest are just easy. I mean, it's just that you get that big toe right.
Yeah.
You're cool.
Exactly.
Right. I wish I would pay somebody some money like that. Now, every now and then, if I have something special, I'll go in and let them do a gel nails on my hands or something.
Yeah. But
me, Oprah, and Whitney Houston, we didn't worry about no long nails. We like our regular little short, nubby nails, and that's fine for me because I do a lot with my hands, and nails get in the way. Long nails. I used to wear them when I was younger, but those acrylics. But you ever jam those acrylic nails into the wall or something, you'll never wear them again.
Oh, yeah. I avoid those like the plague, yes.
That's right.
So to wrap this up, Wendy, I'll tell you a couple of my Bowdy jokes.
Okay.
You know the difference between a golf ball and a G-spot?
Ooh. Let me see. A golf ball is easier to find?
Close, yes. A man rather spend 20 minutes looking for a golf ball.
I know it has to be something like that. Oh, my God.
This one is awful. I apologize. Why is drinking cheap beer like going down on your sister?
Oh, damn. Ooh. Oh, I don't know. Can't imagine.
The taste is the same, but it's still not right.
That's the truth. Oh, my God. Well, I don't know about what it tastes like, but It's not right.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Yeah. Wendy, thank you so much for coming on today. You are a lot of fun, and you're just truly amazing. You should write a memoir, by the way.
That's what folks say, you know.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. We shall see. Well, Tommy, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for inviting me on your show. And you are an amazing human being.
Oh.
I say you're an amazing human being. And thank you for all that you do, for all the artists that you invite to share their stories with your audiences. And I want to just shout out to everybody out there. Stay safe, everybody. Keep love in your foremost of everything. Keep love first, and we'll make it through this pandemic and never to return.
Yes, it's my pleasure and my passion. You have yourself a great day, and please stay safe. Enjoy your gigs.
Thank you. You do the same.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
Well, there you have it. Wendy Barnes. Ain't she a sweetheart? Oh, what a great lady. Very passionate about her music and great touring stories there. I was cracking up about the Wiz. That was pretty funny. Well, until next time, this is Tommy Throwback Kovac saying there's no shame in living in the past because the present sucks. Later, dudes.